Boats Wayne Boogie 03 says it's annoying how Kyle keeps not running the ball. What do you mean, man? They ran the ball 37 times for 176 yards. What's annoying is how he doesn't call play action shot plays. Like all of a sudden you're calling slants. What? What are you doing, man? Throw it down the field. If you want to throw slants, you should have drafted Mac Jones. Don't do that. Right. Don't do that. You could do that, next year when he's had some playing. Oh, I got one more thing about. Hold on, my opinion on this team. I am feeling validated and vindicated that I said that I all of last year was saying find opportunities to play Trey Lance. Find opportunities to give him a drive. Give him a quarter. Now he's like, he didn't look ready. Well, what do you expect, man? I'm telling you, can't get a quarterback ready on the bench. There were so many opportunities to put Trey Lance in the game last year, and Kyle whiffed on that. And I felt like there's going to be repercussions, and we're seeing them. This was avoidable, and it's all the more reason to keep playing him because if you pull the plug now and you try to go to him next year, we're going to be saying the same thing. Like, it would be great if they had gotten more playing time. You know what I'm saying? So
listen, you can't keep kicking the can down the road. At this point, you are married to this decision. You have to be married, and we'll see. We'll see the conviction of Kyle. I mean, we'll see how quickly or if at all the situation gets bad. But I want to see Kyle's conviction here. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care about Kittle's prime. I don't care about Trent Williams' prime. I don't care about any of these guys' prime. You chose to do this. This is the situation you're in. I do think it is the right pick. It is the right pick, but you have to give it time to marinate. You just do. You cannot continue to kick the can down the road. And I'll tell you what right now, if they do that, if they bench this kid and then next year he comes out and balls, I hope to God he's like, I want out. I want out. I don't care. The way you treated me, I'm out. My 5 years is up. Trade me. Get me out of this mess.
But we're not there yet. And I do think that Kyle is his biggest advocate, I think. But he needs to be a leader and stop letting certain anonymous players on the team either whisper to the media or dude, just play. And my dad made this point yesterday on my show. The Niners seem to be playing hard. So all this whispering and who cares? Players can have their opinions, whatever. Just go block and run and play hard, and they do. So what's the problem?
100%.
So what's the problem? Niners. The problem is they lost, and they lost because of their freaking defense. Anyway, Niners Daddy says Iggy Lance and I are big fans. Having a watch party. Oh, can I join? Appreciate it. I'm trying to be there. Tour 49 says, "Where is my?" We'll see. Door's always open. Never close that door. Easy Tino says, number one McFloppy says, with the miss block runoff is hold on. Is a chump move. Oh, yeah. Kyle has defended Trey versus Martz. Yeah, we're waiting, coach. Number 3 loses this week, Kyle. And the clock starts. His job come down. Vic Fangio. I didn't read that correctly, but yeah, Vic Fangio. Or Anthony Lynn.
Yeah, here's the deal. And I want to make sure that my stance on this is extremely clear. I don't think there's some crazy upheaval. I don't know if I believe the whole Sims thing. I do think that Kyle's strapped in on this. He's like, I'm playing the kid no matter what. That's the vibe I get from him. But if for whatever reason he doesn't and he tries to kick this can down the road, it's over. It's even if Trey Lance comes out and does do well next year, would you want to stay with that team? Put yourself in that situation for a minute. Would you want to stay with that team? I wouldn't. I'd ball and be like, get me out of here.
Put yourself in Kyle's shoes for a second, though. I agree with what he's doing, but I'm just me. I'm just an idiot wearing himself on a hat. You know what I'm saying? Mike Martz and Sean Payton came out today and said they think Kyle's wrong, and they basically laughed at him. That's rough. And Matt, those are your peers. Those are no. Those are Super Bowl champions coming out being like, "Ha, this guy's an idiot." 2 of them. That would hurt. Look, it would hurt my feelings if I were in Kyle's. And he came out today, looked like he had something on his mind. He was freaking preoccupied in his press conference. I don't know if that was it, but he has a lot of his people that he aspires to be or thinks he's better than, looking at him, scoffing at him after one game in the rain. And I'm totally on. I was the big Kyle skeptic the last 6. I'm like, I'm on Kyle's side. You guys are being really hard. Can you give him a
Oh,
chance?
100%
I
on
can get him
Kyle's
on
side
Kyle's
with this.
side. Like, what is going on? Yeah, it's so weird to me. And honestly, the whole with this season, you have so many casuals. Like, I'm calling Sean Payton and Mike Martz casuals. People who have probably watched 10 minutes of highlights. And come on, acting like they got an opinion, man. Like, come on. You've watched 10
Mike
minutes.
Martz 4 days ago was saying it was the right decision. I can't take
Right.
that guy seriously. Mike Martz, remember when you ran Kurt Warner out of town for Mark Bulger? Yeah, I don't think you deserve an opinion in this.
Dave Barclay likes my singing voice. Thank you, Vernon. Thank you, Dave. Vernon says Kyle's repeatedly said all the talk and criticism is coming from the outside the building. We need to learn to start believing Kyle. It's Trey's team. I hope so. I hope he's right. I don't know, man. I don't know because what did Chris Simmons said he heard through the grapevine? Heard through the grapevine.
I heard through a friend. It sounds like you're playing telephone. I don't believe. I don't know if I believe that.
Niner Gang Wolfcat says whether Trey works out or not, he will. Jimmy Garoppolo is a bridge quarterback to our next. Unfortunately, Jimmy Garoppolo can't get us over the hump unless stars align. Great karaoke. Thank you. I tried. Jimmy. What's also the thing about having Jimmy as the backup is all of a sudden like he's like a mythical hero. Every week, he's like the legend of what he did and could have done grows, and it totally outweighs reality. You know, that's another part of keeping him here. It's like every throw that Trey misses. Oh well, Jimmy would have hit that. Again, I was on the radio with a guy in Maine this week, and he was like real critical, and he was like, "So, like, do you think they'll bench Trey if they lose next week?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Well, don't you think they would have won if they had played Jimmy against Chicago?" I was like, "No." I was like, "Do you?" He was like, "Well, yeah." And I think that's how a lot of people. Well, yeah. Like, no Kittle, no Mitchell, no win. Are you kidding? Like in the rain, what was Jimmy gonna do? What was he gonna throw down the field? What was he gonna do? I understand that.
I've heard this a lot. Well, Jimmy would have won. Look at how many games Jimmy blah blah. I just gave you. There's 3 games minimum, and I swear there's a 4th where they lost 10-point leads last year. And then let's just look at the rain games. They were 1-2 in rain games similar to that. And the one that they won, they scored 9 points and the defense gave up 0.
Right.
But like, Jimmy would have won that game.
Imagine if Jimmy was the starter right now in Carolina or the backup right now somewhere. Like no one will be saying, "Hey, look at Jimmy." Like Jimmy be having his own struggles, his own trials and tribulations. But here, he's like everyone says the backup's the most popular player. You just made Jimmy the most popular player. Do you understand? Every time Trey messes up, there's this fantasy. Well, Jimmy would have done that. Yeah, Jimmy would have done better on that.
Now again, it doesn't. I mean, what everybody thinks outside the building does not matter if the team does have the conviction. I just question how long can they have that conviction if you continue to hear the outside noise.
But again, how can the players honestly back Trey Lance 100% when Jimmy's still on the roster? Because no matter what the organization says, right? Actions speak louder than words. Dude is there.
Yep.
What I'm saying? Like this could all be avoided by trading Jimmy Garoppolo tomorrow for whatever you can get. But they won't.
And let's not act like they don't hear the outside noise.
It's the move. It's what you got to do. I think it's what they got to do. Because going back to Jimmy doesn't save you. Going back to Jimmy is a desperation like, let's get this 8th seed in basketball move and just make the playoffs and say we had a good year. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Let's also not act like they don't hear the outside noise, right? Let's that whole facade of we don't hear anything. We're bulletproof here. Bullshit.
That's what Kyle said, right? Yeah.
Bullshit you are. Yeah. You just had Trey Lance reference your Ayuk love in a press conference today. You think they don't hear? If they hear that, you don't think they hear anything? You got Debo blocking you. You got Armstead doing whatever he does whenever he can pile on for you. These guys hear everything. Everything.
Hey, don't tell me it's noise when it's Sean Payton and Mike Martz, dog. Those are Super Bowl champ. Kyle, everyone around you calls you a genius, like you're like Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg or whatever, but you're not a champion. You might be a genius, but you're not a champion. And genius/champions think that you're messing up right now. I think you're doing the right thing, but look at me. I'm on a hat. I look ridiculous. I'm a clown. Well, Mike Martz might be a clown too after what he did. Yeah, Sean Payton, everyone respects Sean. Everyone respects Sean, and he doesn't seem to respect you right now, Kyle. That hurts. Peyton That's got to be a gut punch, man. Sean Payton, because Kyle watches Sean Payton's film being like, this guy's the truth. I hope he watches my film Like I watch his film. You know what I'm saying? Saying.
Yeah,
Tobin says
Peyton is not.
But you know what? Sean Payton's a little overrated, man. Pass happy. I'm just saying. Tobin, I mean, his whole Taysom Hill thing, like that really, yeah, Bounty Gate. Tobin Ernst says, we losing Sunday. Pete chomping his gum already. Say what you want about Seattle. They're trash, but Pete's going to have his team ready to play. Kyle, 100%. Will you? Because they weren't week 1. Now, the last 4 week 2s they have been, so they better be. CT Law says, Trey is 0-1. Last week I thought for sure Kyle would yank him. Chris Sims just reported locker room wants Jimmy. Trey go this week against second quarter he gone. $10. Are you betting? Are you going to put that down? Are you trying to get a little juice, a little action on that? I don't know, man.
It's not happening.
Milf Hunter says, Grant, after 2020 week 1, what the hell was that? Oh yeah, after they lost to Arizona, man. That's true. Is that when I told Dante Pettis to retire? Sorry, Dante. Francisco Escamilla says, hope Jimmy Garoppolo fans follow to his next team. Fake Niner fans. Agree. Too bad there won't be a next team because no one wants him. Ryan Starr says, as a Niner fan, I expect greatness, but I'm critical. For all the Jimmy Garoppolo would have won Indy game last at home. Washington scored 9 points. D gave up 0. Yup. See, to me, this should have been the Washington 2.0. They should have won the game 10-0 as opposed to 9-0. But the defense just lost interest or whatever. I don't know what the hell happened in the second half. I don't know. It was ridiculous.
And I don't put it on the defense. I think the defense did again, to me, like I look at this and this was the ultimate team loss. Like we could go to like 5 or 6 different players or units and say, well, if this had happened, they would have won. If they would have executed here, they would have won. Like there's so many things that we can point to. You just can't say it's one person or one unit.
No, I agree. It just like from the way they played in the first half, the defense was in position to shut out the Bears. And then they gave up 19 points in the second half. You went from giving up 0 points and 68 yards in the first half to 19 points in the second half. Like they just weren't, not that they lost interest. They were not prepared to play a 60-minute game. And that's what happens when no one plays in the preseason.
And 19 points in that weather felt like 40.
Disgusting. Sorry. Dave says touche, Jesse. I'm not sure he was referring to. My egotistic aura says, I understand you have your opinion on why Jimmy isn't good enough, but what solid proof do we have that Trey is good enough? No.
We don't.
What I'm saying is people be like, you got to go back to Jimmy because he's proven. Yeah, he's proven that he's not good enough. Yeah. Trey is starting because we don't know. We know about Jimmy. Not good enough. What's the point? Waste of time. 5 years. Longer than a presidential term. Like a senator. Not good enough. Time to give someone else a chance. Period.
Yeah, that's where I look at it. I mean, at the end of the day, this is what it comes down to. We don't know, right? Everybody has their thoughts and their opinions, and that's why I say we're not really truly going to know until the end of year 3. Like that's just the reality of the situation. That being said,
is this year 2 or year 1 now?
This is year 2. Okay. This is year 2. Okay. Yeah, this is year 2. But what we do know is Jimmy is not the answer. So if you're taking out a guy that you don't know if they are the answer long term, to replace him with a guy that you don't know is the answer, why? Well, I mean, what if Jimmy Garoppolo was a Super Bowl caliber winning quarterback, he wouldn't be in this situation. Teams would be clamoring for him.
Absolutely not. No. Tony Nagatani says, problem is Kyle. Kyle can't coach in the rain. Kyle couldn't figure out how to get Trey more snaps. Kyle is the king of Santa Clara, all on him. Yeah. Again, great scripts, great game plans. He's going to come out gunning on Sunday. Where are your adjustments? What if something goes wrong? What if something happens? Can you fix it? And are you a leader? And do you have the locker room on your side? All these questions I have. But yeah, he does have certain strengths. Kyle needs to step up, buddy. This is it. This is year 6. This is your time. This is your quarterback. Back him. Are you going to let the whole world pressure you into playing the quarterback you don't want? You've been fighting your whole life to play the quarterback you want.
I'll say this. One thing that I have said is there's no way that Kyle Shanahan got bullied out of Kirk Cousins for Jimmy and then proceeded to get bullied out of Tom Brady and Mac Jones, if those are guys that he really wants. If he goes to Jimmy at any point and chooses to pull the plug on this, I question his backbone all the way through. And I don't know what the hell this guy ever wanted. At this point,
you're like, how can you respect Kyle Shanahan if he's just going to give up on, if he has no convictions? If he has no convictions. Senior Boat says, Grant, what's up with Debo's smug laugh when you asked him about his strip fumble? Favorite day of the week, fellas. I don't know. I noticed it too. I figured it was like everyone was asking him these questions like he had a good game. He had 14 receiving yards and a fumble and a touchdown. And that's the thing. Like, you got like, hey, Trey, how do you think you performed today? Not good enough. This play, that play, this play, that play, this play, that play, that play. And then everyone's like talking to Debo like he did something. And I asked him about his fumble, and he's like, like, okay, well, I like your quarterback. Anyway, I noticed that too. I thought it was kind of weak.
I don't know if that
been kind of weak all year.
I don't know if that was I'm trying to get the reaction. Like, I could go one of three ways. It's either I can't be questioned, I'm too good, or Grant Cohn asked me the question, F that guy.
True.
Right? True. Or I'm embarrassed, and this is my reaction is like nervousness, right?
I
agree. Could be any of the three.
I agree. Actually, that's fair. Miguel says McFloppy needs to go. I don't think he has the best intentions for Trey. The way he walked away after that play tells you what he thinks of Trey Lance. That's not why I think McFloppy needs to go. I think he needs to go because he's not good, and he limps around the field like he's still hurt. Have you noticed that?
He has that George Kittle limp. The constant
limp, man. I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I can't help but notice that they took off last year after he was out.
Yeah. I will say this, though. You know, again, offensive linemen and cornerbacks are subject to this more than anybody because you don't ever hear about them until you hear about them and it's something bad. But when you actually watch snap in and snap out, I don't think he was horrible by any means. That situation where he doesn't help up Lance was weird, right? But I don't want to read too much into the situation or the psychology of it. If that becomes a regular thing, then yeah, I'll talk about it. But right now it's like, I don't know, man. Like, he clearly looked embarrassed. He ran off like it was the Alden Smith sack celebration. It was so weird.
That's exactly what it looked like. Dave says we better not even bench Trey. We better not ever bench Trey. He has to learn and his floor is higher than Jimmy's ceiling. Play the kid until he makes people choke on their words. Yeah, man, Kyle, let's see how much. Let's see what you got. You got to do this. Trey Niner says, I'm so frustrated with this coaching staff allowing McGlinchey to stay on this team. Also, the stubbornness of staying with Jeff Wilson is 3-yard gains. Yeah, man, they're very much like trusted players and got like dude, come on, man. You got to play the best players. You got to play the hot hand. And I don't know, Jeff Wilson, give him another chance at home. But if he doesn't got it, try someone else. Come on, just saying.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent. I also would not be shocked, Grant, if in week 3 Marlon Mack is leading this team in carries.
I like Marlon Mack.
I do too.
I like Marlon Mack. True Boxing King says if Kyle Shanahan benches Trey, he should 100% be fired. How can a genius be so dumb keeping Jimmy Garoppolo? All the old media judging Trey by 1940s white quarterback standards. Again, I just don't feel like Kyle really has a good sense on like the social dynamics, like all those kind of things. He just felt like if we don't acknowledge the awkwardness of it, it won't exist. Like, yes, it will. It will. Look at Chris Sims is calling you out, man. You have Chris Sims' initials tattooed on you, and he has yours tattooed on him, and he's calling you out, Kyle. You can't control this. It's bigger than you. You got to trade him.
That's so weird, by the way. Like, okay, first of all.
You don't have your best friend's initials tattooed on your ankle? Really? Okay.
That is actually the weirdest part of it. But it's weird that you guys are such good friends, and your quote unquote best friend goes out of his way to make your job so hard.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that. I'd be like, bro, don't talk to me. We are not tight. Don't talk to me ever.
Ever. Dave Barclay says, how can Kyle still back Wilson after injury? I don't know. I guess he's loyal and stuff. And yeah, give him another chance. But is it too much to ask to use a committee? Can you use all your guys? Don't just tell me that Jeff Wilson Jr. is the only running back you can use. And I couldn't give any carries to Jordan Mason. Can we just see what Jordan looks like for like 3 carries so we can judge for ourselves, please? You know what I'm saying? Like, stop trying to act like you know better. And because that almost feels like he's like trying to not let the public make the decision, you know, like he's not ready. I gotta go. Let me know. We'll see for myself. I want to see. I'm with you. Right. Gizmo says we're not a rebuilding team. It's not fair to Trent and veterans to just keep playing Lance if he struggles. Hope he balls
because out, okay, this is the point. Thank you so much.
Have to play Trey.
Thank you so much,
Playing
Gizmo.
Jimmy is unfair to them.
It's not fair,
That's
right?
why
It's
you have to
not
play
fair.
Trey.
Because what is the other option? What is the other option? A guy that's not also going to win the Super Bowl? So, okay, I actually would argue that it's not fair to go with what you're talking about, because here's what happens. Let's say Trey is that guy, right? Let's just say in a perfect world Trey is that guy, but he's not until year 3. After a full year of playing, and you pull him in 2 or 3 games. Jimmy comes in, you make the playoffs, he can't win in the playoffs because his right arm's not going to win you games. We've seen that. He's never been responsible for the reason they've won playoff games. You lose in the playoffs again. Then Trey comes in and is really, really good towards the end of next year, but you miss the playoffs. How long are you prolonging this window? That stance makes no sense to me. 0 sense.
Derek says if Jimmy wasn't here, then then the talk would have been if we only had Jimmy, haters gonna hate and clickbait's gonna clickbait. No, again, if Jimmy were somewhere else playing and losing, you couldn't be like, oh, he'd be the answer for everything. You know what I mean? Like when Mahomes was balling out with the Chiefs, Alex Smith was in Washington. There was you could see there were 2 results every week. So that's what could have happened this year, but it didn't, because no one wanted Jimmy, and he's still here. Trey's watching, says Miguel.
I doubt it.
I doubt it. Don't bother me, says, knowing Shanahan's history with questionable, do you think he should focus on designing the plays, yet have someone else calling the plays? You got a life-size picture of that happening? Hey, I don't want to do it anymore. Someone else do it. I doubt it.
I've always preferred coaches that are CEOs of teams, meaning they don't call the offense or the defense. They are just kind of making sure that they're the leader and have their hands a little bit in everything and are able to just peer down and give their input and be a leader throughout the game, be a clock manager. And that's not Kyle. He's a control freak, and he's really, really good when he's on, but man, it's tough to be on all the time.
Keneal says Jimmy motivated the D to shut out Washington in 19. Here's the thing. Football's a funny sport. I didn't play it. Okay. I didn't play the sport. It's funny. And for whatever reason, this locker room believes in Jimmy. I don't get it. But you could say that they'll like play hard for him or whatever. And I don't know that the whole locker room believes in Trey yet. And that's a thing. And Kyle believes in him. I believe in him. Jesse believes in him. You believe in him. But like, they need to believe in Trey. And they do believe in Jimmy. And that's another complicating factor why Jimmy can't be here. Because how can you get 100% behind this guy when you're 100% behind him? You can't. You understand? These are psychological elements that Kyle hasn't thought about hard enough. Keneal knows what I'm talking about, though. Jason says people begging for the worst fourth quarter quarterback in playoff history is hilarious. Worth and Rex Grossman in the playoffs. People are okay with that. Yeah, it's like the freaking what's his face? Like the Ravens being like, we need Flacco back. Gotta have Flacco back. Right. Forget this Lamar Jackson guy. We need Flacco or Trent Dilfer. Dave Barclay says Grant has been right about everything this offseason and last year and everything ever. So bad game is Chicago. I think is Kyle not able to finish games. Keep it up. Yeah, man, adjust. Have something more than a script. All Niner says, Jesse, you bringing in a Seahawks reporter on?
Not a Seahawks reporter, but a Seahawks YouTuber, basically. He's got like 10,000 subs. He'll be on next, at 10:15. Half an hour.
Lorenzo says Trey will be the MVP of this game. Mark my words. Lorena says, "Where's the so-called Super Bowl caliber roster?" Yeah, everyone said all Trey had to do was not make huge mistakes, and they were going to carry him. Well, I guess they didn't. What can we get in a trade for Kittle? Good idea. Yeah, like 4 months ago.
Yeah, it's too late for all that.
Daniel Sotelo says, "Man, hell of these super chats. You think there are reasons Trey gets hate nationally? One, Niner expectations." You think these are the reasons Trey gets hate nationally? One, Niner expectations versus Jets, Jags, etc. Kyle traded the farm to get Trey. 3, media knows Niner content does number rather than Jags. Yes, and I tweeted this too. I think there's an element for some people that they just don't like the idea of a young, unproven black man taking an older white man's job. And he's still here. Again, if Jimmy had a job somewhere else, no one would be mad. He'd be in Washington. He'd be in New Orleans, but he's not. He's here. And Trey took his job, and Trey didn't earn it, and Trey hasn't proven it, and Jimmy did this. People get mad at that stuff. I think some. And maybe they don't even think about it consciously, but it just sits wrong with them. I think that's a big part of it.
Unconscious bias is a real thing.
Yup. We really need to get back to our show. Hold on. Tony Romo worth more than Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, would they rather have Tony Romo there in Dallas? Zach Norman says, what backup is good option after Jimmy G trade? I'm going to trade Jimmy for another.
Who cares who the backup is?
Derek
Respectfully,
Green says,
listen, I appreciate the super chat, but who cares?
no, yeah, I mean, Nick Mullins.
Yeah.
Derek Groom says this loss was 85% Kyle, 10% defense, 2.5% Debo fumble, 1.5% Mitchell injury, and 0.5% rain Trey. Can't wait for this Sunday. Trey till is not. 85% Kyle. Yup. Lorenzo Pinto says no matter what happens this week, Trey is good to me. Yeah, Kyle, like that was a preseason game effort to me for the Niners. Niners Kate said after seeing Trey mention how you bring up touches a lot, what do you think is the likelihood at some point potentially getting him on the show? I think
That's
I can
tough. You probably do in the offseason.
so. But not yet. He needs to like get his feet underneath him before he starts doing press. You know what I mean? He's way too scrutinized. Anything he says or does, people be like, see, that's why he sucks. Dave Barclay says Mason. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I agree. One of these young guys, I mean, you drafted TDP in the 3rd round. You might want to see if he's any good.
Matthew Bryant says, hey, Jesse, can you ask JT what he would have said to the O-line if he saw what McGlinchey did during film review? Master J says Kyle needs to get over his phobia and play the rooks.
He does have a thing against rookies. That is for sure.
Damn, there's so many of these. Hold on. 2 more. Slide McGlinchey down to guard. No, move him to tight end.
He's too tall to play guard.
No, it'd be even worse. Damian Jasso says, Grant, why were we calling Jimmy's over the middle plays in the second half for Trey? I thought we drafted Trey so we could go away from the middle of the field. This play call better not happen again. I don't know. Kyle, do better, please. We all noticed what you did.
The biggest issue I had with the play call, Grant, is it's not just doing what's best for Trey. It's doing what's best with this team. And very early on, I talked about how up the middle, they have 4 players that are developing. How do you make it easier on them? All 4 of them, their job gets easier if you move the launch point. Roll him out.
Yeah.
Make his job easier. Make their job easier, quite frankly. Not one time did you roll this kid out and give him boot action. You know what I mean? They did it a couple times, and it's always to throw cross field. Yeah. But it's like, roll him out on a Jake Plummer for your dad was constantly on the move. Constantly, and it looked so good.
Matt Straub as well.
Yeah.
For Kubiak. Caesar says it's raining Sunday 90%. Dude, Trey should use gloves. I don't understand that, man. Fields did. It couldn't hurt.
Him and Fields have the same size hands.
Jonathan Chavez says what the organization needs to do is give Grant a headset for the rest of the games. Kyle's a great play designer, not a great play caller, and games go to crap. Would have been a dub on Sunday. I don't want to place. I just want to be in like I want to be in the booth. And when it's like the 3rd quarter and Kyle forgets to like go back, I just be like, hey, Kyle, you got to go back to this. Hey, Kyle, 2 targets for Brandon Ayuk. 40 yards. Give him a shot. No, wait. No. I have a standing desk that like moves on its own. Hold
on. I got one too. Here, watch.
You like that?
Yeah, here.
So dope. I love it. Okay. Carson Knutson says Josh Allen now or Trey Lance in 4 years.
Listen, Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the freaking league. Are you kidding me?
Josh Allen's pretty amazing. Seth says Debo smirk because of the rain, respectfully, in my opinion. I thought it was a respectful smirk as well. Ronald Keys, $2. Thank you, Ronald. Then after we're done with these questions, we're going to go rapid fire through the rest of our show. Thomas asks, why does the team feel so entitled to winning? That's a weird way to put it, but I know what you mean. I don't know. Ty says, I can't believe we wasted a 1st round pick on Mike McGlinchey. Him not helping Trey Lance. I know. I try to keep modest, though. I try my best. Ronald Key says, Kinlaw and Trey should have been Jefferson and Parsons. Ooh. Jefferson and Chase. What if they had Jefferson and Chase? With Jimmy
Garoppolo? Nah.
Jimmy Garoppolo, Jefferson, and Chase. Yikes. They could have had Jefferson and Chase, though. That's crazy.
That's like having a Ferrari with no engine in it.
That's true. Josh Wyatt says roster is not as good as the one they gave Jimmy. Trey will be an upgrade as the season goes on, but will it be enough? I blame the New York standard. That's a good point. Josh has been very measured and down the middle recently. I agree with you, Josh. Dave Barclay says, I agree. Grant can remind him, Kyle, this worked. Yeah, it's like a call it quality control. All right, back to the show. Hold on, not back to the show. The coach, you guys are killing me. Guys, the critiquing of plays is cringeworthy. Every time Kyle gets criticized, it's a full menu and a broken record. It's clumsy. The team wasn't prepared. That's on Kyle. The plays were fine. No, I don't think the plays he called in the second half were fine. Don't. No, he could say, I think what Kyle would say is like, I lost my running back. I didn't feel comfortable calling play action. It was raining. It was hard to throw outside. We had to force it over the middle. Maybe. Okay, fine. Don't do it again. Have a plan to run the ball, commit to your passing game, to your play action game, and Ayuk outside the numbers. Don't force passes over the middle. It's a mistake with this quarterback.
I want to be clear. I haven't blamed Kyle all week. The only thing I said I wish he did a little bit more is make it easier on his offensive line and Trey and just move the launch point. That's the only thing I'm asking for. The rest of it, Kyle is exactly what everybody else was, which was meh last week. Nobody was good enough to win. Everybody was kind of meh, and that's why they lost.
I think he needs to put Trey Lance in a better position to be successful. I mean, he called the 4 downfield throws. Trey hit 3 of them, called more than 4. Those are nice. Keep going. Don't all of a sudden be like, you know what? I planned. I'm out of my game plan. I'm going back to the stuff I'm comfortable with that I called for Jimmy. No, do better. Have a whole game worth of it. The Niners played a 30-minute game. Kyle had a 30-minute game. The offense had a 30-minute game. The defense, 60 minutes. Commit to it. WTP Niners says Kyle called a game for Trey first half, then dialed up game plan for Jimmy. Clearly did not work. That's exactly what I saw. I'm glad someone else saw it too. Rodrigo says, Grant, do you feel that a good run game with longer passes to start for Trey would make it easier to set up the short and over the middle throws? Yeah, I don't even see like the short and over the middle stuff should be like if it's wide open. I don't see why you need to do that. And I do think you should be taking shots earlier in the game and getting the lead and then wearing them down with the run game after that. Yeah, I would. Madness Demenis is a new member. Thank you. And last but not least, Ishmael says, thanks for your thoughtful takes. Watch all the time. Love the shows with Jesse and LC. Haven't donated before. About time. P.S. Turning point when Kyle punted on 3rd and 4th and 1, failed to manage momentum. That's what Larry said. I agree, man. Like Trey fought for the extra yards to get to 4th and 1, and Kyle's like, don't care. Punt against that team. Pretty whack.
I'll say this for me. I always go off of what my feeling was during the game. I'm not going to try to like come back later and be like, yeah, I knew they should. During the game, that didn't even come up. I wasn't like, man, they should have gone for it here. So I'm not going to come back later and pretend like I thought that they should have.
Derek says we started losing after 4th and 1 punt, in my opinion. Thoughts? I mean, it happened. That was right after the Dante Pettis touchdown. It was an opportunity to get the momentum back.
It's very true.
You know, Matthew says, Grant, here's $5, but I only ask you buy some Kool-Aid packets for when Flay starts up his bullshit again. I'll just break out some Kool-Aid. Marcus King, real quick, says this dumb Cowboy fan says Romo is better than Montana and Young. Y'all agree with that? Of course not. That's dumb. Jim Muhammad A says, Grant, you should come up with a Grant Cohn starter kit clothing. That would be cool. Keep the good work. Y'all killing it. Shout out from Oregon.
Hey, where in Oregon?
Yeah, we're in Oregon. Dave Barclay says they'll win if we don't give up reckless penalties. Yeah, penalties are big. Bears rotated O-line. Is O-line low priority for Niners?
Seems to be. I mean, Kyle Shanahan in the offseason when Mac retired said that is the heartbeat of our offense. Well, you can say that all you want, but you have done nothing to address the center position long term. You just never have in 5 years, so I don't believe you.
True. Jerron, thank you very much. Madness Demenis says prediction for both of you on which week Trey will have a breakout game. How about week 2? A breakout game, like a breakout game. No, that's like not really fair enough.
A breakout?
That would be like, hold on, let's go back to see what Russell Wilson's first year starting. I keep using that as a reference. If I remember, his second half was way better than his first half.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
I'm going to go week 4. Week 4 versus the Rams.
Okay, 2012, he had his first, he threw for 293 yards week 6. So maybe week 6, like mid-October. A week from now, a month from now, give him a few starts, something like that. What is week 6? It's either Carolina or Atlanta, one of those 2 games.
Yeah, one of those 2. I forget what the order is.
Maybe Atlanta, week 6. Yeah, how about that?
I'm gonna go week 4 versus the Rams.
Whoo, that'd be cool. Ishmael says over under 1 freaking pass to Juice. Over under 1 freaking pass to deep out of the backfield.
Under and under.
What I like about Kyle, what he does is he starts slow, but he seems to like build things up. So he'll show stuff week 1. And then week 2, he'll show new stuff that build off the old stuff. Right. So what was the big creative thing that he did? It was the sweeps to Debo where you turn. I think there's gonna be some. I mean, I showed it on my channel today. They showed it in front of the press. They're sort of building packages off of that because that's really successful and it stresses the defense. So now build more things off of that. And I think that's
Absolutely.
going to be their red zone offense right there. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
could be.